wondering what happened to old Sightseeing Sally? You're not alone. In fact, so many people have been wondering what happened to their favorite sightseer that if you type into Google search Sightseeing Sally and then scroll down a little bit, you'll see that one of the related searches, the top related search, is what happened to Sightseeing Sally. Now, as funny as that might seem to me, I realize for some of you it may not be all that funny, especially given my recent health concerns. So I thought today I would take a moment and spill the tea as to what's been going on outside of YouTube, share the story of what recently happened, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll have all your questions answered. And if not, you can always leave a question or a comment down below and maybe I'll address it in a future video. For those of you who don't already know me, I am Sightseeing Sally. This is my little three-legged buddy, Leo, or Lil Leo as we refer to him. And normally I like to start out my videos going, "Hey sightseers," because usually we're out on location somewhere, exploring a small town, maybe some hidden gems, wandering around, checking things out, you know, basically sightseeing. And recently I've been dealing with some health issues. I found out I've got a leaky valve. I also have a problem with my blood pressure dropping dramatically when I'm on my feet for too long. Now, I had been sharing a lot of that with you here on YouTube, and then the last episode that we did, we were walking around in Green Bay when the temperatures were balmy 19 degrees, and then you didn't hear anything from me. Oops. I kind of fell off the face of social media at that point. I stopped posting to Facebook and Instagram, mainly because we weren't getting out and filming anything of interest. And I had a few people kind of complain that they didn't want to hear about my life updates on YouTube. And okay, people don't want to hear that, and there's nothing exciting going on as far as trips planned because we were waiting for the green light from the cardiologist. I had an appointment coming up to find out if these were helping my situation any, and I figured as soon as we got the green light we would start packing up and getting ready to go on our big adventure. Now, don't get me wrong, I did spend a lot of time laying up on the couch, snuggling with my dogs, reading a good book, but I did take a little bit of time to start planning ahead. Planning where we might go once we hit the road. What do you think about going down to Alpine?
Alpine, Texas?
No, Alpine, California.
What do they got there?
Something called Dead Doll Alley or something like that.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, the pictures on Facebook looked pretty strange. Kind of interesting.
Where is it in California?
In the southern, southwestern part, close to San Diego, I guess. It's off of Highway 8.
Sounds interesting if we get out in that area.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that, you know, we could maybe stay over in Borrego Springs and then drive over there, because I don't think we want to drive through the mountain range with the camper on the back.
No.
It might be a fun day trip.
Yeah, it could be a day trip.
See what else we can find that's weird or interesting over there.
Yep.
Even Marty got in the spirit. He went out in the camper and started doing some of those final tweaks to some of the things that he'd been wanting to do before we hit the road.
How's that look?
Outstanding.
What the hell? I can't see it. How the hell did it go on the before, now it won't go on.
Before we go any further, I have a couple of quick shout-outs I want to give. First, I'd like to give a special shout-out to someone very dear to me, my lovely niece. She also has been struggling with some health issues, ones that cause mine to pale in comparison, and I just want to tell her, if she's watching, how much I admire her strength and resiliency. Next, I'd like to give a special shout-out of thanks to all of you sightseers for the support that you've shown Marty and I by, giving their prayers, your well wishes for good health. And I just want to say it really means a lot and we really appreciate you. And last but not least, I want to give a special shout out of thanks to two more individuals, James and Tom, for becoming our latest patrons here on Patreon. That you would sign up and join us at a time when we're not at our best really says a lot. I just want to say thank you. And now, back to the tea.
Just got to be smarter than the map holder.
That's what I was thinking, but I certainly wasn't going to say it.
Surprisingly, this is the right angle, correct angle for fitting in there. I just happened to stumble on this by accident. A little hard to see, but as long as you're really close, it's alright. Just let it go up.
You want to explain what you're doing or why you're doing that?
Because every little bit of insulation on these single pane windows helps a lot.
Especially because we don't know how long we're going to be in the colder regions before we get somewhere warm enough that we don't need them. Especially at night when we're sleeping. Is it just me or is my glasses like got this purple thing across? It's just so weird. Anyways, Marty's working on this last project, getting the camper ready before we can finally leave on our road trip. I tell you, it's been one heck of a journey getting to this point. And there were times I actually doubted that we'd even be able to get to leave. Ooh, there is one shout out I almost forgot to give, and that is to my awesome brother for giving me this really cool mug for Christmas. He knows me so well. There's one line I always wanted to sing to my boss, but never had the opportunity to. You can't fire me, I quit. Scene, cause I don't fit in. I know, totally useless, unrelated information, just that it could be important facts to know someday, should I ever become famous, and you end up on Jeopardy and you get asked the question, what was Sightseeing Sally's favorite song to sing? Moving on. Let's spill the rest of that tea. Is that gonna fit?
22. This is 22 wide it will. It's 24.
Alright, look at that. We got a winner. Where was I? Oh yeah, talking about how I thought we'd never get to leave. For those of you who aren't patrons or members of Sightseeing Sidekicks, you may not know, but we have good news. How's that working out there, Captain? Such precision in making these ghetto window screens.
Got the old micrometer out on this.
Actually, I wasn't being sarcastic. I was trying to be complimentary because Marty doesn't do a third-rate job no matter what he's doing. He always takes the time and care to make it look good or, to his best of his ability. And I think they look great. And then, just at the point where I was ready to share my good news, it all went cattywampus because this happened. Okay, I think you want to say.
Catheterizations are fun. Getting stints are fun.
I don't know about you sightseers, but seeing someone you love getting hauled off in an ambulance is really sobering. And there was just really no way that I could get out and film anything, even with the weather having improved. It was like my thoughts were just consumed with the what ifs, and it was pretty frightening. Thankfully, it all worked out. And as for my good news, well, I got cleared to travel. Yay me! Now we're just waiting on old Marty to get the clearance. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Do you want to explain to people what happened?
With what?
You were in the hospital?
I was jealous you were getting all the attention, so I staged a heart attack.
Sorry,
I even talked him into catheterizing me, and it was a lot of work to get him to do it, but they did it.
sometimes I have no idea what he's gonna say, sightseers. How are you feeling now?
A little tired, but I feel like I'm getting back on track now.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because your fake heart attack had me quite worried.
Heck, I was even worried.
Yeah, when you said to come down, I better get to the hospital because you didn't know, just in case, I knew at that point things were pretty serious, and I was freaking out. Freaking out. Yeah. That's probably the best way to put it. Fortunately, you're with me here today.
Don't you mean unfortunately?
He has no clue. What was your scariest experience out of the whole thing?
Probably the cath lab. It was scary when they put the thing in through my wrist. And just in case, they also shaved down there. In case they have to go through there. And I don't know what the guy's using because you can't see. All I was imagining he was using a hedge clipper. I might lose some parts.
Really? You were worried about losing parts?
Not really, but I thought it was funny.
It is a classic Marty. That's for sure. As far as old Marty's concerned, though, he's just checking those boxes, following up with his primary and his cardiologist, because in his mind, we're gonna get ready to hit the road.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We're going.
That's right. We're going.
Whether I'm in a casket or an urn or alive, we're going.
He jokes, but we are actively getting things ready so we can leave. As for what's next, well, Marty says I need to start packing up the camper because we're going. Yeah, that stubborn old man is saying we ought to pack up and go regardless. And I'm kind of like, you sure we shouldn't stick around and wait a bit? But he's adamant that we're going. And if you know anything about Marty, when he says something, people listen. But he wants to go get his follow-ups done and then we're out of here.
Allegedly.
Allegedly? That wasn't my take on it. Anyways, we are in the process of packing things up and hopefully hitting the road one of these days.
I'm hoping within the next week I can finalize my doctor's appointments and get my green stamp to get going and take care of everything, and we can get motoring down the road, start making some videos.
Yeah, that would be nice, especially because the weather right now has given us an open window where it's not too overly cold to be packing up here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
There isn't a whole lot of snow action going on, and we really don't want to be traveling in sketchy conditions, you know, with the snow, ice, salt on the roads, etc. Which means the window of opportunity is here. We would like to grab it as quickly as we can. Plus, as Marty indicated, we'd be rather out making videos of fun things and not the boring stuff here of us packing up. Right, Marty?
And seeing doctors.
I agree. I think we've had our fill of doctors for a while.